Beyoncé, oh my gosh, her and Jay Z just made a huge purchase. They just bought a home for $200 million.
Jay Z and Beyoncé purchased the most expensive home ever in California.
In 2023, Beyoncé and Jay Z quietly bought a Malibu bluff for nearly $200 million. Add an $88 million Bel Air fortress, a $26 million Hampton's waterfront estate, a Tribeca penthouse, and a converted New Orleans church, and what looks like luxury living suddenly adds up fast. On paper, their properties total value hundreds of millions. Privately, they could approach the $1 billion plus range. Beyoncé and Jay Z didn't just buy dream homes, they built a stealth real estate machine that operates more like $1 billion property fund than a celebrity address book. This isn't a lifestyle tour. It's a forensic look at a private property empire built by two of the most famous entertainers alive, how they finance it, how they hide it, and why they're willing to carry a 9-figure mortgage when they could pay everything in cash. To answer all that, we will have to follow the properties and the money from Tribeca to Malibu. The foundation of Beyoncé and Jay Z's property portfolio began in New York with Jay Z's Tribeca penthouse, purchased in 2004 for approximately $6.8 million. This loft, spanning over 8,000 square feet of interior space with an additional 3,000 square foot terrace, became the couple's first significant urban foothold and served as the location of their 2008 wedding. The penthouse transformed a pre-war warehouse rooftop into a private, high-value asset and marked the beginning of a strategic approach to acquiring properties that combine personal use with long-term investment potential. This East Coast to West Coast trail, it's only the visible part. The real story is buried in paperwork, trusts, and one move they made in 2017 that changed everything. We're getting to that. The East Coast expansion followed in 2017 with the acquisition of the Georgica Pond House in East Hampton, New York. This roughly 12,000 square foot waterfront estate, purchased for around $26 million, anchors their presence on the East Coast. Located on one of the most coveted stretches of Georgica Pond, the property includes 7 bedrooms, multiple baths, a guest house, and an infinity pool. Its ultra-prime waterfront positioning and architectural pedigree provide both scarcity value and prestige, establishing a significant coastal asset for the Carters' beyond urban holdings. And while the East Coast held its charm, the West Coast offered a different kind of fortress, massive, strategic, and engineered with leverage and privacy that very few could match. Coming up, on the West Coast, the Bel Air mega mansion joined the portfolio also in 2017. Purchased for $88 million, this property spans approximately 30,000 square feet across 6 interconnected structures on roughly 2 acres. Features include 8 or more bedrooms, multiple pools, a wellness center, bulletproof glass, a basketball court, and a 15-car garage. Beyond its size and luxury, the Bel Air purchase demonstrates a clear pattern of sophisticated financing. Public records show the acquisition involved blind trusts and a $52.8 million mortgage initially, later refinanced, and by 2025 reports indicate an additional $57.75 million mortgage. The layering of debt and use of trusts highlights an approach designed to leverage capital strategically rather than fully deplete liquid assets. Not all properties follow the standard formula. Next, a truly unique asset that flips a church into a story-rich mansion and adds an unexpected layer to the empire. The New Orleans property, La Casa de Castile, represents a unique southern component of the portfolio. Originally built in the 1920s as a Presbyterian church and later converted to a ballet school, the property was transformed into a Spanish Baroque-style residence spanning over 13,000 square feet with 7 to 8 bedrooms and multiple apartments. Acquired around 2015 for roughly $2.6 million, with later listings near $4.45 million, this property demonstrates the Carters' interest in acquiring story-rich, historically significant real estate. Its unconventional nature contrasts with the more conventional luxury estates, but adds depth and narrative to the overall portfolio. By the mid-2000s, the Carters weren't just music icons with nice houses. They were sitting on a diversified stack of coast-to-coast trophy real estate. Now we reach the apex. A property so expensive and so carefully structured, it resets the rules of celebrity real estate, and behind it lies the secret machinery. This expansion arrived in 2023 with the Malibu Paradise Cove estate, often referred to as the crown jewel of the power couple. Reported around $190 to $200 million, this 30,000 to 40,000 square foot, 8-acre bluff property was designed by Tadao Ando for a prominent art collector. Situated in an enclave known as Billionaires Bluff among tech and media moguls, the Malibu purchase set new benchmarks for California real estate, both in price and prestige, and marked the portfolio's West Coast culmination. Combined, the confirmed acquisitions, Tribeca, East Hampton, Bel Air, New Orleans, and Malibu, total hundreds of millions of dollars in reported value. Each property serves a distinct purpose: urban fortress, coastal anchor, high-profile compound, eccentric outlier, and record-setting crown jewel. While the surface narrative portrays luxury and lifestyle, but peel back that glossy veneer and you'll find the engine, a meticulously structured machine for moving, shielding, and cementing capital. To the public, many of the Carter's properties do not list Knowles or Carter as the owners. Instead, county records show trusts, LLCs, and other anonymous entities holding the deeds. This pattern is standard for ultra-high net worth buyers and serves as a fundamental privacy mechanism. By separating the beneficial owner from the public record, these structures shield personal information and reduce exposure to unwanted attention. Ownership through blind trusts, or LLCs, also allows transactions to occur with minimal public scrutiny, which can influence price negotiations and prevent speculation that might drive up costs. The Bel Air mansion provides a clear example. When the property closed in 2017, the deed reflected blind trusts rather than direct ownership by Beyoncé or Jay Z. Investigative reporters later connected the dots, confirming the Carters as the beneficiaries. The trust structure obscures the actual owner in public filings, creating a smokescreen while maintaining full control over the asset. This approach illustrates a repeatable pattern in the Carters' portfolio, demonstrating that secrecy is not incidental but an integral component of their property strategy. The value of this anonymity operates on several levels. First, it enhances security by limiting public knowledge of exact addresses and ownership chains, reducing potential risks from unwanted visitors, paparazzi, or malicious actors. Second, it preserves negotiating leverage in real estate markets, where sellers might demand higher prices if they know a billionaire is on the other side. Third, it allows the portfolio to exist off the obvious public balance sheet, controlling narrative exposure and maintaining flexibility for future acquisitions or financing moves. Leverage and debt introduce another layer of strategy. Despite the ability to pay cash, the Carters repeatedly borrow against their properties. Bel Air illustrates this approach. A $52.8 million mortgage in 2017 covered roughly 60% of the purchase price. The loan was later refinanced, and by 2025, an additional $57.75 million mortgage increased the total debt secured against the house to over $110 million. The rationale is financial efficiency. Cheap, low-interest debt preserves liquidity, allowing capital to be deployed into higher return opportunities such as touring, catalog acquisitions, or startup investments. Interest on these mortgages may also offer tax advantages, making leverage a deliberate tool rather than a liability. The big house in Malibu's Paradise Cove was first reported as all cash, but it's probably not that simple. Super rich people often do the same trick after buying. They put the house into a trust, so no one knows they own it, create an LLC company to hold it, and then take out a huge mortgage on it, even if they didn't need a loan to buy it. Why? Keeps their name private, lets them borrow more money cheaply using the house as collateral, gives them flexibility for future deals. So it's not just spending money on a fancy house. It's turning the house into a smart money tool. When you mix hidden trusts plus company names plus big loans, each mansion stops being just a home. It becomes part of a bigger nationwide money-moving machine. The headlines say Billionaire blows cash, but really, it's Billionaire quietly builds a smarter portfolio. Behind all that lies a question nobody can answer yet. Just how big is this empire? And what secrets are buried in the layers of debt and hidden holdings? Confirmed purchase prices alone already paint a massive picture. Between the Tribeca penthouse, the East Hampton estate, the Bel Air compound, the New Orleans property, and the Malibu bluff, the historical total clears well over $300 million. Once appreciation, renovations, and market shifts are added, the range moves toward $400 to $600 million. Some analysts push the estimate further, pointing to the gap between what can be proven on paper and what may exist behind LLCs and private transactions. What we can see is only part of the puzzle. Behind the public homes lies a portfolio that may dwarf even the wildest estimates. Several factors explain why some estimates climb into the billions. Journalists often extend the math. Malibu's record-setting price reshaped the local market, which lifts the value of surrounding properties. Tribeca has soared over 150% since 2004 and now sits at $25 to $30 million as Manhattan rebounds. Bel-Air has seen upgrades and layered financing that suggest continued reinvestment rising 15 to 20% annually. Large estates sometimes include assembled parcels that hold premium value beyond the main structure, and when assets sit inside LLC networks, they can include related stakes that don't appear in property filings. These variables expand the possible total far beyond the baseline numbers. And if they ever go full family office mode, it's over. JV with developers. Beyoncé-branded towers rising off the Malibu land, Jay Z signing limited edition Bel-Air villas, East Hampton flipped into an ultra-exclusive retreat. Their names alone add 30 to 50% premiums before a shovel hits dirt. The houses stop being homes and start birthing billion-dollar projects. This is already the celebrity version of the Billionaire Playbook, Oprah's Montecito Maui Web, Lucas's Skywalker Empire, Ellison owning Lanai, Zuck fencing off half of Kauai, Bezos scooping Indian Creek. Same game, private right disguised as lifestyle, just with better playlists and bigger cultural leverage. The difference? When Zuck or Bezos do it, it's expected. When Bey and Jay do it, it still feels undercover. For now. So yeah, Beyoncé and Jay Z built a music empire in public and a property empire in private. Next time you see a paparazzi shot of them stepping out of a mansion, remember, you're looking at a carefully structured, highly leveraged piece of a stealth real estate fund. Subscribe for a deeper look at why billionaires borrow against mansions, and which other celebrity couples are quietly building the same kind of hidden real estate machines.